a nice and kind moment of this man who has given us so many hours of television and excitement, who is for, well, 2 generations at least, parts of who we are. So I'm a little bit anxious too, even though I had to relax, which is what he told me. And so we are proud and happy to give you this Q&A moment with the one, with the totally relaxed only, with the chill person, that is Richard Dean Anderson! Richard Dean Anderson, ladies and gentlemen! He said he would take him. If you prefer the chair there, that's fine. Whichever. This is a very comfortable sofa.
It's definitely a sofa.
It is.
Okay, I'll test it in a moment. I've been sitting all day.
Okay, well, okay. If you don't mind me staying straight. No. Okay, fine. They're all standing also.
Anybody want to sit in the couch? Get your own. What's new? Did I miss something?
No, well, we had a cosplay contest.
What is that?
That is that people dress up as their favorite characters from series, or mainly manga, anime series, and video games, but just as well from books.
That's
or
cosplay.
Cosplay. And they do the contest by performing an act with music they chose, with some dialogue that they bring. It's a kind of theater.
Huh. I'll have to look into it. No, I like anime, I just don't follow it. So.
There's a lot of it to follow.
That's what I understand. I'm more of a, like, Family Guy, Simpsons sort of fellow. There. I heard a yay.
Yeah. They have that too.
But I'm that old, that's what I like in animation. Although, anybody know who Wes Anderson is? His animation, to die for. It's just the best. So.
Like Fantastic Mr. Fox?
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
See, just happy.
Nice.
Was that, I don't immediately link the animation to him, but when you said animation, oh yeah, indeed.
Yeah, several. And yeah.
And the I Love Dogs?
Yep. Well, for me, I was just in a discussion earlier with a gentleman that, and I was asked what my favorite movie was, and I just said, well, my favorite director is Wes Anderson. And until I said it, I didn't really know or had a conviction about it, but yeah, I think he is. Anyway, those of you not familiar with Wes Anderson, go take a look. You
have homework now.
Yeah.
I'm going to jump in between these people. Wait, I'll let this person make a picture here, secret selfie. I'm going to jump in between you, and then I'll get questions from them, and then you might answer them.
Okay, do you need help getting down?
Now, I've done this so many times that I believe that I can do, but you will have to step aside just a little bit though. Here we go. Whee!
Oh, the thought of doing that with my knees. Jesus God.
You would have done it probably 30, 40 years ago.
Yeah, probably, and gotten the condition.
And then, yeah, exactly, that's how it happened. Okay, I'll go to questions immediately here in the front. People are already raising their hands. We'll see how many we can fit in this little half hour that we have.
What did you like the most of being in TV shows?
Huh.
The fact of being in television shows.
You know, excellent question. To reflect a little bit now because it's not an obvious answer. I went to school, bounced around a little bit, but for the most part went through college and such, studying art and the arts. And my father, when I was growing up, he was a speech and English a high school teacher. He also directed school plays. And when I was about that high, he would take me to rehearsals and let me sit and watch, you know, him put together the play. And I was so fascinated with the whole process. And during one of their rehearsals, and it was, mind you, there's no audience, it's just the actors on stage doing their activities. And during one scene, one of the characters was to bring out a birthday cake and present it to whatever the circumstance was. But instead of a real cake for rehearsals, they had a tray full of Hostess Twinkies. Anybody familiar with those? What would it be in, say, Denmark or in the Netherlands?
There's no Twinkies here. But
yeah, but do you know what they are?
Yeah.
What are they?
The little cakes with a lot of sugar.
Yes.
Sugar.
Yes. Anyway, they look like hot dogs with cream through the middle of them. It's a terrible pastry, but as a kid, I lived on them. I loved them. So when I saw this tray come out during the rehearsal, something went off in my head. And this is a true story, I'm sad to say, that any job I could get where I'd get free Twinkies is something I wanted to pursue, and ultimately, eventually I did. And what was the question you asked?
Do you get many Twinkies whilst being a professional television actor?
I'm done with Twinkies. A little more sophisticated than that, though not much. But there's something about your question that I haven't answered. I said that as
what do you like? What's a thing that you like about being...
Well, that was one of the Twinkies is your answer. No, but anyway, that got my attention as a kid. And after that, my mother was an artist. My father was a jazz musician and a teacher, educator. And so I grew up with music playing and art and the smell of oil paint, yeah, all of it. And I got used to identifying with that as poem. So I felt comfortable with the visual arts and the oral arts. And I just was drawn to it. Thank God there was like an outlet for me, because I can't paint, can't draw, can't play a musical instrument. But there was this thing called acting. And so I got serious and went to school about it. I like what has happened to my life. I mean, the sway of my life, or how it's like going so far. Because of, well, having been in, oh, that's what I was gonna say. I pursued becoming an actor and not a television actor. Just, I wanted to misbehave on stage or whatever the venue was, and just kind of followed the road after that. But when I got these jobs, the two, I guess, biggies, what?
They're not, they're just here on the sides.
Kidding. Yeah, but MacGyver and Stargate, thank you. I need reminding. When those came along, I had to adjust, because I wasn't used to, and some of you will notice my behavior is a little less than openly social or comfortably social, let's put it that way. So I've had to make some adjustments, but that's another part of what I like about the job. It got me out of the house and got me pursuing some form of art. And because of that, I get to come to places like this and go to great museums. And I'm rambling now, you should tell me to stop.
Stop it. Stop it.
He's an artist.
Next question here. I will get to you.
Hello, Mr. Anderson.
Hello, sir.
I admire you as MacGyver at the time when I was a young kid in the 80s, but I'm wondering if you still have the imagination using your skills and especially using a paperclip as a one-way thing as MacGyver.
It's always with the paperclip.
Okay,
There's Velcro now.
Any skills? Is that what you want to know? If any skills?
Yeah, and then can you still use your imagination?
Oh,
about circumstances?
well, that's all we use, isn't it? Is your imagination.
But do you build strange things in the garden out of nothing?
Well, strange is relative, isn't it?
It is.
Thank you. No, I don't actively build things or go out looking for stuff to build. My approach, and I think the character's approach, was primarily towards fixing existing things that may have broken. In other words, look for a solution to getting out of jail, as MacGyver once did. Just once. Yeah, exactly. Well, as an example, on MacGyver, he was trapped in a jail of some kind, and there's no way to get out, isolated somewhere out in the mountains. But it was a jail-like situation with bars. Established going into the jail was a bicycle that was parked on the outside of the jail building. And when MacGyver remembers this when time comes to escape or get out of there. And so somehow, I think he took off his belt, probably, maybe his pants. I forget. Anyway, to make a rope and tossed it and got somehow miraculously hooked the bicycle and drew it in, and he pulled it apart and broke some of the frame bars and made a torch. And in the voiceover of the whole activity, and at the end was that it was lucky that this bicycle was made out of magnesium.
As bicycles are.
Or manganese even, because it easily made for me, MacGyver, a torch to get out of this jail. That's paraphrasing a little bit, but anyway, that's whatever I was saying before is what I meant.
True. Okay, here then.
So my question was a little bit similar to the one before, but I also would like to ask, have you ever MacGyver anything in your everyday life?
Yeah. Next. No, yeah, what I've been adjusting my answer to that question to say in a broader sense that MacGyverisms are made up of things of your imagination or the reality of having something around that can assist in fixing a situation rather than, creating. I mean, we got in trouble at one point, or we were accused of causing trouble when a couple of German kids created some explosive material out of, whatever, and blamed MacGyver for it. And I mean, I think the parents wanted to sue or something like that. It's sad because they got burned. They didn't lose any fingers or anything, but we made sure that we never, any combination of things that we put together to affect an ending or a solution. We made sure that we leave one element out that would, you know, make it worthless and would make it not work. So having been accused of putting certain things together, we told the parents that, no, not from MacGyver. Maybe it was the thought process or the way of thinking that the MacGyver and like MacGyver was blamable, because as far as like real life fixing things, I tried once to put, my brother had an old Chevrolet car, and it was notorious for overheating. So MacGyver at one point took a bunch of raw eggs and put them in the radiator of an old engine, obviously, and it coagulated, as the whites of eggs will, and it stopped the leak in the radiator. Don't try it, but it worked for MacGyver. But it's just it's a way of thinking about taking care of things, but nothing specific. Like every day you'll notice, if you're really observant, that you've got to fix things or to perpetuate your life in general. You'll see the details of solutions. Break a shoelace, oh, dang. What can I do to fix that? Well, buy some new shoelaces.
Or find a bicycle made of magnesium.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's funny that you talk about the egg coagulating, because that's one of the things that as a child really stuck into my head, and now that you bring it up with my adult understanding of physics, I go, of course that wouldn't work, but just until you mentioned it, it was like a fact in the back of my head. If I would ever have a problem with my car, with the cooling system, I could always throw in an egg. It's now, if it happens to me in the future, I've been relieved of making that mistake. So thank you already for
You're welcome. Anything I can do.
Hi, thanks for coming. I'm a lifelong Stargate fan. So my question to you, sir, is who do you think would win a fight, MacGyver or O'Neill?
Well,
in a fist fight, or
yeah. Oh, a fist fight?
Yeah, no bicycles.
Well, keep in mind that O'Neill was a military man, thus had access to guns and such, which was fun for me because MacGyver was anti-guns, whereas the military guy in Jack was comfortable with them and used them for their intended purpose, which is wounding aliens, I guess. Who would win in a street fight? Oh, I don't know. Give me an idea. What do you think?
Special forces, he might be able to use his hand-to-hand training, but MacGyver could maybe make a staff weapon in the backyard somehow.
Yeah, the cleverness, I think, of MacGyver and whatever scientific knowledge he had accrued might come in handy. It might be some kind of karate, not karate, but some formal kind of training, combat training like that. But I don't know. O'Neill drank too, so that either helped him or didn't.
Maybe they fight and then they get to kind of a tie situation and they understand that the next kick might be the deciding one, and then they go, oh, no, what have I done with my life? Why did I chose the path of violence? And they fall into each arms crying, and they open a nice coffee bar where aliens and humans alike are welcome. It might be. It's a different kind of series, perhaps. I don't know.
Anybody write that down?
Another question here.
Yes, coming back for the egg, I know for sure my dad watched MacGyver because he gave me that tip one time. But one question about the reboot. What do you think about the reboot from MacGyver?
Oh, you mean the one that's been canceled?
I don't know, my Twitch chat is asking me, so I guess so, yeah. So what is your point on it?
Oh, I didn't like it, but that's an objective response. Because, you know, everybody has a right to things that I don't own. And so they asked me to be a part of it in some way. I read the script, I could see they were not on the right page as anybody else doing the first MacGyver was, or is, was. I don't think it did justice to the franchise. It became more of a cop show with the title. The whole concept of, I mean, they did cursory MacGyver-isms, but boy, you saw a lot of gunplay and, you know, bobbing and weaving. I don't know. I don't
Less imagination.
Yeah, which is ironic and frustrating for me because we had very small budgets, and thus, if you look at MacGyver today, you see that it was low budget, and you know, we had to cut corners, and lighting isn't as creative as it could have been. But then the other MacGyver got huge budgets and used it in production value, and it looked nice and all that. But then they dropped the ball where stories and character development was supposed to be, and I just fell out of favor. They asked me to be a part of it, and I just said, I can't do this. It's not right.
Next question.
Yeah, I was wondering, during the shooting of MacGyver, the filming moved from the US to Canada, and I was just curious, how did that affect the team, you know, the dynamics of the show, and also how did it affect you personally, because I imagine you had to move there as well.
You had to?
It's a long commute from Los Angeles.
Not so long. I come to Europe every month, so. It actually, moving to Canada helped us a great deal, because eventually Los Angeles is going to be recognized very clearly as Los Angeles. And what was accessible to us, given our budgets and all, but in Los Angeles was what was available in Canada far outshone anything that we could find in LA. Canada is a very diverse, especially for our uses, diverse environment. Diverse everything. It's got mountains and ocean and forests and, you know, downtown cities and all that. So it was all very manageable for us. And also the people are really nice. And we were kind of welcomed with open arms. We were one of the first productions to go up and kind of start the exodus or the influx of movies and television to Canada, which, you know, sucks for the States, but God bless Canada. Yeah.
Here to your right.
Hi, Stargate ever hopefully will come back. Which villain should come back?
In Stargate.
Stargate?
Which villain?
In Stargate, not Atlantis. Stargate.
Oh. Well, you're asking the wrong guy. Let's put it that way. I swear, if Amanda Tapping was with me right now, we'd have tons to say about it because she knows everything. She knows the details, and that's why we gave her all that dialogue, all that techno stuff, because she could retain the what, the where, the who, or the whom, and I don't remember any of that. I couldn't tell you what villain should come back. I almost said Murdoch, but I don't think he was with. Yes,
He was in season 1.
Murdoch was
The actor playing Murdoch was in season 1.
of Stargate. Really? Where was I?
You were in a chair with things on your head, and well, you were in a different place.
That wasn't Michael DeBars, was it? What? Do you know? Ah, hence the confusion. Using me as the apex for this. Well, Baal, I understand, was one of the guys, right? Baal. Is it all? That's the only one I can remember. Hathor.
Baal unfortunately passed away.
Hathor did?
No, Baal passed away, the actor.
Yeah, but...
Oh, that's wrestlers.
What is? Oh, it's those guys.
It's the wrestling guys. Another question here.
Hi. If you could go back in time to the beginning of your career, what would you tell yourself? What advice would you give yourself?
Ooh, life's advice.
Boy.
From the elder Anderson to the younger one.
I'm a much simpler human being than I think you think I am. What advice? Invest. I think I would not have. I think I would have paid more attention to my diet because, well, from my late teens through mid-20s or whatever, 30s. Wait, what time is it? I ate anything I wanted because I could, because of my heritage and my metabolism and all that business. I drank everything that under the sun, and I just would have paid more attention to that aspect of life. I didn't have to think about it when I was, as all you kids will know, eventually. You can abuse the heck out of it now, but don't. It'll hurt later. Yeah.
You know it when it's too late.
Well, you see the results. Jesus. Sorry.
Well, you look fabulous. You look fabulous.
Get out of here.
Look, here.
You should see me naked. Oh,
and they say no again. Oh, see, they know their limits.
No, you
Excellent.
wouldn't be cheering.
Well, that's all the time we have for now for you. Yeah, we could do this all night, I guess. But Bonnie Wright will be coming on anytime. Yeah. You know Harry Potter? The movies, the books, the games, the scarves, the hats.
No.
No.
Of course I do.
Of course.
I'll get off so Bonnie can come on, okay? All right. Listen, thank you so much. Hang on. I want to, anybody that's in line to get a picture or an autograph, whatever, I apologize for the wait. Because you're so tolerant to put up with my lugubriousness or my slow nature. But I like to make contact with people, and that takes a little time. Brief moments, but it accumulates. So those of you in the back of the line, I promise I'm not going to leave. I'll get to you. But I apologize for the length of time you have to stand and wait for a schlub like me. But
and what a schlub he is.
I love the Netherlands. I love this whole part of Europe, actually. I keep coming back to the general area. Thank you for your hospitality and for being good people. So thanks.
Thank you, Richard Dean Anderson! Richard Dean Anderson, round of applause!